Everyone considered him a weak orphan whose E-rank skills held no value in the new world, so they abandoned him to die. Outside, chaos unfolds as students begin killing monsters to collect experience points. Yamada chases a wolf with fierce determination while Kiri-Haru cheers joyfully as he reaches level 18. Meanwhile, the quiet boy Yasu watches a monster writhe in agony and starts laughing maniacally. A girl named Agi intimidates another timid girl, warning her that their class will soon break apart. She believes their egos are too large and assigning classes hasn't helped at all. Agi explains that the students will soon split into groups, and she wants the fearful girl to join hers. This girl, Kabatu, is only D-rank, making her unworthy of joining Kiri-Haru's elite group. Agi suspects that Aya won't survive long enough to form her own team. She warns Kabatu that without a group, she'll have nowhere to fit in. Agi admits that if they manage to defeat the Demon Empire and return to their world, it could work in their favor. The goddess has assigned the students a trial: eliminate monsters. Kabatu hasn't completed her assignment yet, so Agi orders some girls to fetch a monster to help her pass. Kabatu hesitates, but Agi reminds her that if she fails to kill the monster, she'll be disposed of, just like Memory. Overwhelmed by fear, Kabatu kills the monster. Agi congratulates her on passing the test and welcomes her into the group. Kabatu, however, feels awful. She remembers how Memory once rescued an injured cat. After the kill, she's consumed with guilt and apologizes, knowing she had no other choice. Elsewhere, Aya regains consciousness, still aching from the punch the goddess dealt her. She confronts the goddess about Memory, but the goddess coldly replies that nothing can be done. According to the kingdom's policy, the weakest hero must be eliminated. The goddess feigns regret, revealing that the ritual is still ongoing. While Aya was unconscious, other students were sent on a test to see if they could kill monsters. Many failed and were disqualified. The goddess expresses phony sorrow and claims that heroes who can't fulfill their duties must be discarded. Aya, displeased with her methods, reminds the goddess that she is an S-class hero. She vows to fulfill the duties of the fallen students in exchange for stopping their disposal. The goddess agrees and even apologizes for the earlier punch. In the dark forest beyond the ruins, a girl runs desperately, pursued by a group known as the Holy Watchers, led by Mags. Meanwhile, Memory resurfaces and checks his stats. He discovers that he can now remove paralysis at will and make his poison non-lethal. This means Memory can now use his skills without needing to kill his targets. Realizing this, he decides he needs a sword and a bodyguard. Soon, he comes across a group of slimes, one of which is being bullied by the others. Memory hopes the bullied slime will stand up for itself, but it's too weak and outnumbered. Feeling pity, Memory watches in surprise as the small slime suddenly pushes back its bullies. Stepping in, Memory paralyzes and poisons the aggressors, noticing that he can now adjust the settings of his skills. He drives the bullies away, leaving only the small slime behind. Impressed by the slime's courage, Memory assures it that he won't hurt it. As he begins to walk away, the slime starts following him. Memory realizes this creature, much like himself, is an outcast, and it wants to stay by his side. Meanwhile, the princess is exhausted from running. She finally understands the hunting methods of the Holy Watchers. Memory forms a team with the slime and instructs it to watch his back. While reading a book left behind by Engel, Memory learns of an experiment that empowers monsters. The book includes a formula that can enhance slimes. He shares with the slime that he's on a mission for revenge, and if the slime stays with him, that goal will become its own as well. Memory asks the slime if it's ready for this journey, and it responds with full determination. He names it Piggy Maru, and the little slime beams with joy. Driven by vengeance, Memory no longer hesitates to use forbidden magic and dark arts. The princess, realizing she can't escape the Holy Watchers, decides to use something she had never wanted to. She sacrifices her sleep, and after casting a spell, she transforms into Spirit Regalius. Suddenly, the Holy Watchers cross paths with Memory. They decide to rob him. Mags, one of them, wants to test his new sword on him, while others urge him to finish quickly so they can resume chasing the princess. They make crude comments about her and other girls, which infuriates Memory. Seeing Memory appear to cower, they assume he's weak. Memory pretends to beg for his life, until Mags strikes. To their shock, Memory paralyzes him instantly. He grins, realizing his skills work on humans too. They aren't nearly as terrifying as dungeon monsters. With confidence, Memory mocks them, calling them weaklings. Even Piggy Maru is furious. Memory decides he won't hesitate to kill a thug if needed. From now on, he will meet bloodlust with bloodlust. If that means killing humans, so be it. The thugs begin to understand just how terrifying Memory truly is, but by then it's too late. Memory poisons them all. Memory senses a presence nearby. At the same time, the princess grows nervous. She can no longer detect the Holy Watchers. This unsettles her, making her fear they may be planning something unseen. Suddenly, she feels the presence of someone else. It's not overwhelming, but deeply unsettling. She strikes without hesitation, but Memory surprises her by paralyzing her from behind. He had sensed her hostile intent, but he also felt something else, something that made him curious. He paralyzed her only as a precaution. The princess wonders what Memory wants from her. He calmly explains that he's not from this area and needs information. He allows her to move her mouth but warns her any suspicious move and she'll be paralyzed again. She agrees to answer his questions, but first, she asks where the 4 men are. She's shocked to learn that Memory has already taken care of them. She reveals they were Holy Watchers, elite and powerful. She wonders if Memory had help. Memory mentions he has a companion but refuses to say more. She senses no deceit in his words and decides to answer honestly. She also feels thankful. He saved her life. Memory tells her she doesn't seem like a bad person. They agree not to interfere in each other's lives. When Memory asks his questions, the princess explains they are in a forest south of the kingdom. He then asks about the scroll. She tells him it's an ancient and unique script, but she cannot read it. However, she knows of a witch who can. This witch holds vast knowledge of the world's forbidden arts and is considered dangerous. Memory expresses a desire to meet this witch, but the princess warns him she lives in the territory of the golden-eyed monsters, a perilous land. The princess feels she's given too much information just to save her life. Her kindness reminds Memory of his aunt, who was once very dear to him. He tells her the paralysis will wear off in a few minutes, but he can't guarantee her safety after that. She accepts this, and he wishes her a safe journey before walking away. Memory tells Piggy Maru that he doesn't enjoy taking lives. He only acts according to his rules. He's unsure whether the girl will attack once free, so he relies on Piggy Maru to watch his back. Later, Memory arrives at a city, pretending to be a mercenary summoned to conquer the ruins. He's granted entry. City officials want more mercenaries heading toward the ruins. The receptionist, San, treats him coldly at first, but when Memory shows he can pay for a room, San's attitude changes. When asked his name, Memory lies. He says it's Hetty. That night, Memory changes clothes and explores the city. People are suspicious of him. He visits several shops before choosing to dine at an alcohol shop, because that's where people speak freely. It's perfect for gathering information. Nearby, a group discusses the nation's most powerful factions. They all agree the Black Dragon Knights of the Box Empire are the strongest. They command 5 dragons, each capable of annihilating entire armies. They also possess the mightiest hero Slayer. Later that night, Memory talks with Piggy Maru about their future. Their top priority is finding the person who can read the scroll of foreign magic, which means locating the witch hidden in the golden-eyed monster territory. But first, Memory wants to enhance Piggy Maru's abilities using the monster enhancement technique. Memory recalls hearing that a new floor was discovered in the mill's ruins, explaining the influx of mercenaries. Fortunately, the ingredient needed for enhancement is rumored to be in the ruins. The next day, the city leader orders all mercenaries to explore the new floor. He announces a reward, 300 gold pieces for retrieving the Dungeon Eye Chalice, along with generous compensation for any other treasure found. Memory sees this as an opportunity to collect the powder from the Skeleton King. While in line, Mimori notices a strange man harassing a girl. The man tries to recognize her voice, suspecting she might be a famous paladin from a certain nation. He gossips with others, thinking she is the former knight captain, now with a bounty on her head. The man remembers being rejected by the knight captain in the past. Though the girl doesn't seem to recall him, he recognizes her rude attitude and thinks he can expose her by checking her ears. The knight captain is a high elf, a rarity in this region. Pointed ears would confirm her identity. Calling himself Joe Getty, he pulls off her hood. But when he sees her ears are normal, he's stunned. The girl introduces herself as Misty and tells him he's mistaken. Joe, furious, claims he hates beautiful women and intends to teach her a lesson by humiliating her. After he leaves, Mimori approaches Misty and advises her to be more cautious. That man was consumed by rage and hate. Misty shrugs it off. She's used to it. She prefers people to hate her rather than try to get close. It's clear she avoids emotional connections. Before entering ruins, Mimori realizes he needs to buy some supplies, but he doesn't want to get scammed by the merchants. So, he offers Misty some money in exchange for her help. Luckily, Misty is in need of some coin and agrees. They exchange names, though Mimori quickly senses that Misty is using a fake one. It becomes clear that both of them carry secrets, so they agree not to reveal their real names for now. Misty helps him with shopping, and in return, Mimori gives her 3 silver coins. Suddenly, Misty collapses and admits she hasn't slept properly in 3 days. She brushes it off as nothing and walks away. Watching her leave, Mimori decides it's finally time to conquer the ruins of Mills. As soon as he enters, he hears terrified screams. A group is fleeing from a monster. Mimori quickly paralyzes and poisons the creature, then easily slays a smaller version of it that he had fought before. He realizes the monsters inside the ruins are significantly stronger. A while later, the group that fled returns and is shocked to find the monster already dead. With a single stab wound, Mimori finds a safe spot, takes a break, and checks his stats. That's when he overhears the same man from earlier hiring thugs to attack Misty. The man wants her dead, but slowly, hoping she will suffer and regret her actions. He is driven by rage and won't rest until he sees despair on her face. He gives the thugs permission to do whatever they want with her, which infuriates Mimori. When he confronts the thugs, they threaten to kill him, thinking no one would care since people go missing in the ruins all the time. Mimori pretends to beg for his life, but Jogatti, the leader, mocks him for being a coward. As Jogatti moves in for the kill, Mimori quickly paralyzes and poisons them all. He doesn't hesitate. People like them deserve no mercy. Jogatti vows revenge, but Mimori simply says that's exactly why he's dealing with them now. Already paralyzed and poisoned, the thugs are left behind, and are eventually devoured by monsters. Just before entering the next floor, Mimori finds a quiet spot, rests, and takes a 3-hour nap. As he explores deeper, he comes across a group called the Saber Tigers. They tell him something strange is happening in the ruins. Monsters are being killed in odd, random places, and no one knows who's behind it. All the bodies have turned yellow, and both strong and weak creatures are dying the same mysterious way. The Saber Tigers thought they were the first to reach the 14th floor, but then they found the remains of slain monsters. Their leader, deeply concerned for his crew's safety, decides to retreat. They invite Mimori to join them, but he declines. Still, they ask him to spread the warning to others he might encounter. After they leave, Mimori realizes those dead monsters were the ones he had killed using his skill. We are shown a flashback of all the creatures he has taken down. The side effect of his methods has frightened off the competition, making his path easier. Eventually, Mimori discovers the Dragon Eye Chalice, but it's guarded by a dragon. He knows touching it will awaken the beast, so he preemptively paralyzes and poisons it. The creature was still alive, but not for long. Mimori asks Piggy Maru to watch their bag while he picks up the chalice. The dragon succumbs to the poison, dying quietly. Suddenly, Misty appears. Mimori casually hands her 4 gold coins, which shocks her. The 300 gold reward for the chalice was no joke. Misty insists on giving him something in return, but Mimori refuses. He wants nothing. With his mission complete, Mimori begins preparing for his next journey. But Misty doesn't want to accept everything so easily. Mimori tells her that the persona he's using, the kind, helpful man, is just a mask. His real objective isn't treasure. Suddenly, Mimori reveals a hidden path and admits his true goal: to defeat the powerful monster lurking deep below. Still, Misty insists on repaying him. She offers to become his guard, vowing to protect him with her sword skills. Mimori notices how clingy she is, so he agrees, but with conditions. First, they won't interfere in each other's personal lives. Second, he plans to spend a long time on the next floor, so if Misty decides to leave, it won't be his responsibility. Misty accepts the terms and swears to protect him with her life. Moments later, she proves her worth by swiftly slaying a monster with impressive skill. Seeing her in action, Mimori asks if she knows anything about golden-eyed monsters. Misty explains that they're considered ideal prey for heroes, perfect for leveling up after arriving from another world. Mimori doesn't reveal that he himself is one of those heroes. Misty goes on, heroes don't gain experience points from eliminating other people, only from defeating monsters. According to legend, the Demon King, the source of all evil, produces a special energy called the Demon King's Essence. Monsters strongly influenced by this essence become golden-eyed. This energy unleashes their most violent instincts. As they explore further, Misty senses a monster nearby. It's not very strong, so she initially ignored it, but it's close. It turns out to be none other than Piggy Maru. Mimori introduces Misty to the little slime. At first, she's frightened, but Mimori reassures her it's safe. Eventually, she pets it affectionately. Misty is hesitant to rest, but Mimori urges her to lie down. She's clearly been exhausted from the beginning, so he uses his ability to lull her to sleep. As a result, the magic disguising her appearance fades, revealing her true identity: Knight Captain Ash Ren. Meanwhile, the Black Dragon Knights discover the bodies of the 4 Holy Watchers. The Knights conclude that these elite warriors were killed instantly, without even a proper fight. The Dragon Knight leader suspects Ash Knight Captain is responsible. No one else could have done it. Misty wakes a while later, shocked to find she had fallen asleep. Mimori pretends he just woke up too. Suddenly, they're attacked by the Skeleton King. Mimori senses that this monster is far more powerful than any they've faced before. But Misty is confident they can win if they destroy the silver part beneath the monster's crest. She knows even the saber tigers couldn't defeat this beast. Misty prepares to use a skill that will boost her physical abilities and allow her to summon armor. She asks Mimori to keep this power secret. Apologetically, she says if the beast defeats her, she won't be able to protect him, and he'll have to run. But to her surprise, Mimori easily paralyzes the monster's attack and poisons it. The giant beast is defeated without much effort. From the Skeleton King's remains, Mimori retrieves the item he was looking for. As they prepare to return to the surface, Piggy Maru senses something inside the body. Wrapped in magical cloth, they find an egg. Piggy Maru wants Mimori to take it home. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the ruins, Skeleton Knights attack Mimori's classmates. One girl panics after her hand is severed, but her friend reassures her it can be healed. Ayaka tries to muster the courage to protect everyone, but just then, Yamada Kirihara arrives and unleashes his powerful abilities. Ayaka manages to save the wounded girl, and Kirihara announces he has reached level 24.